Hey everybody, it's Bonnie from Healthier Meals. I have decided that today I'm just going to have a little treat. I don't know how many of you guys like edamame, but it's basically the whole form of soybeans. So I'm going to test out a recipe that I actually found online. It looks delicious. It's using breadcrumbs with edamame, kind of stir frying them a little bit. So just for a change of scenery, I'm going to use a little bit of grapeseed oil. I've been using my olive oil a lot, and with something like this, you want to make sure that whatever you're using, if you're cooking vegetables, you have some oil in it. So we're heating up our frying pan. We got about 2 tablespoons of this in there. And grapeseed oil, it's just an alternative, and there's not really any other reason for me to use it. No flavor reasoning, at least. So here's what I have. I have that oil heating up. I'm going to take some of my leftover chives to get a bit of fresh onion flavor, and that kind of takes care of that. That's all my leftovers right there. And then we're going to stir fry those, and then we're going to turn around and, oh, I need a stir. And we're going to add our edamame here, and then we're going to add what the recipe calls for breadcrumbs. I've opted for almond flour. It's breadcrumbs, it's just almond. And this is what I have on hand. Now, to create a little seasoning, as opposed to, while we're waiting for this to heat up, I'll go through this. As opposed to me using Italian seasoned breadcrumbs, for instance, man, all day with the kids out at the Spartan Run, and I can't talk. So we're going to use our Italian zesty blend, and we're going to grind that up. Make sure we got lots and lots of spices in here. So you're looking at about a tablespoon of spices, something like that. You want it a little coarsely ground so that when it sticks to the edamame, the flavoring sticks to the edamame as well. And what you're looking at, you know, I know we've gone through how to eat edamame, where you pop it, you know, and then you pop the seed into your mouth. Well, this gives it a little bit different twist. The way that you eat your edamame when you're doing it this direction or this way is you pop the seed in your mouth, and then you pop out each one of the little pea pods, and then you eat it. Well, this seasoning, this flavoring in the seasoning, I'm going to add some garlic powder and onion powder, my little staples. That seasoning gets right into the heart of the edamame, especially when you're using frozen edamame. I mean, this is just going to be nice and green and leafy and juicy and absolutely delicious. So we've got our flour all seasoned up. It's about 1/3 cup of the flour. I'm going to cook the rest of this edamame. I really don't want very much of a coating. Mix up your seasoning. Here we go. Get that onion going. You can smell it when the onion starts to really flavor up. It's just, oh, fragrance in your kitchen when you cook fresh. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. So I do have to say, while I'm cooking this, I've been watching that Weight of America that's been out there, and the episode that I watched last night was all about how, you know, in some of the impoverished areas, like you go into the Bronx, you go into, like I know my old neighborhood, you go in there, and all they have back there are fast food. Like where there used to be a Sizzler, there's a McDonald's. And then right behind it is a 7-Eleven, which has been there forever, mind you. But I think there's like, what is that, a Dairy Queen across the street, and Dunkin' Donuts, and they're pushing out. We have a deli that's right there, and oh my gosh, Twinbrook Deli. If you want a sub, go to Twinbrook Deli. It is amazing. I love it. I try and go home and stop there every single time. We leave the airport, it's like, where do you want to go to eat? Twinbrook Deli. Let's go, let's go. So needless to say, these fast food places are really trying to take over, and very interesting how they're really looking at the marketing that these companies are doing. And one of the statements that has really resonated with me is these people saying, or the experts in this show, they're saying that we're eating based on production, not what our bodies need. So, something to consider. consider when you're looking at different foods. Okay, so we've got the onions sizzling. They're all broken up. They really are just starting to heat up. Once it gets really fragrant in your kitchen, I want you to add the edamame. And add a bunch. I'm just going to add the whole thing. Might as well. And then what you want to do is kind of stir it up. I want to coat all of the edamame. And even with 2 tablespoons, you can coat all of this edamame. You don't need a lot. It's oil. If you ever put baby oil on your hands and try and rub it in, you know it gets everywhere. Oil is oil. Stuff, you just stir it up a little bit. I'm going to get the onion in there. And this is how we stir fry our edamame, and we make it delicious and amazing, and your kids will even eat this. That's how good this sucker is. Tell them it's a game. It makes it that much more easier to get them to eat it. And if they're like me and they don't like onions, well, you're not eating the onions. And as you saw, they're pretty big onions in here. Alright, so I got the edamame coated. And here, let's move you a little bit closer. So I got the edamame all coated. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to sprinkle the almond powder that we have seasoned over the whole thing. Just like that. And then as we cook it, the almond flour and all the seasonings, well, it's going to darken up. Okay, and we want to try and coat all of it. This is just going to be like toasting the almond flour. Toasting it and roasting it and just adding that extra flavor to each. And I mean, oh, this is one recipe that I have to tell you right now, I'm excited. Looks delicious. Coat up all of this, toast it up, make it nice and crispy and crunchy and delicious. And then you suck it off as you're eating your peas inside, your little soybeans. I don't know if you can tell, but I like flavor in food. I like to feel like what I'm eating isn't always good for me, even though it is. So, now, as we sit right now, this stuff is still frozen. So we're going to let it cook a little bit. It really shouldn't take too long. One of the side notes with this that you can do is add Parmesan. If you add a little bit of Parmesan cheese, especially grated Parmesan or grated Parmesan Reggiano, a little bit of Asiago cheese, any of the Italian cheeses really, I mean, it ups the calories, yes, but you add a little bit of flavor to it. You know, kick it up a notch. Add some red pepper. Throw some garlic in there. If you like peppers, stir fry the peppers with the onions. Toss that in there. It's that simple. I know these impoverished areas they're looking at for this Weight of the Nation series. You know, they're looking at them and they're saying, you know, how can we get healthy food to these areas? I mean, you have people living there who are taking the trolley. They're taking the bus. Yet for a fresh grocery store, they have to go to the other side of the city. That's not really fair. I've seen some of the, you know, inner city grocery stores, and you know, the produce there, what they've allotted for these people to buy, and I've lived in those areas numerous times in my life. I'm not one of the ones that can't say, you know, I've always had a car. Well, there was a time when I didn't have a car, especially recently, and I had to take the bus to go grocery shopping. I had to walk. I had to carry my groceries up a hill, a very steep hill, mind you, in San Diego. And, you know, if I wanted anything, if I wanted to cook anything, that's what I had to do. It was either, I lived in the middle of Golden Hill, so I either had to walk up the hill to the corner store, get what I needed, and walk back down, or I had to walk down the hill to the grocery store, get what I needed, and drag the groceries back up, walking. I was close enough to walk, not far enough away to take the bus, and taking a cab, that gets expensive. So one of the things that we really need to start trying to press our business owners is, you know, talk with the food banks, talk with whomever. Let's get some fresh produce out here, and, you know, whatever is convenient for your neck of the woods. What's the foods in Texas, you know, the foods in Chicago, like, you guys up in the Northwest, man, you're like corn fanatics up there. may not be your favorite, but if you can get it fresh and you can get it cheap, go for it. So anyway, my little rant and side note, if if you see something coming up and you see some of these different documentaries, the greatest way that we can make a change as a whole, as a community, and we can help each other out and help our kids, really, like, it takes a village to raise a kid. And we want these kids to be successful. We want them to have a life and a future that we had the potential of having and now are looking at going, oh, what did we do with it? The greatest change we can make is one that we make together. So if you get the chance, watch that documentary. It's on HBO, it's on demand, and I believe even if you don't have HBO, you can see it online. If that's not the case, let me know. I will find a way for you to watch it, because it is worth it, and we do need to gang together, and that's part of the reason I'm doing this vlog. That plus check out my delicious food. Now, this actually will serve about 4 people. All of this food. And when I'm looking, like, I don't know if you can tell when I lift this up, but you see how much coating is on the bottom here? So some of this isn't even sticking. It's just, there for flavor, and it's kind of soaking in. And you can tell when it's all when it's not frozen. You either squeeze it, and right now it's very cold, or you look at it and it gets very bright green, and it starts steaming in the middle, which it has yet to do. So once it starts steaming, which should only be a couple of minutes, this is what you will have on your plate. Now, this is an excellent appetizer. Let's say you're having a bunch of people over. Take this, put it onto a plate, and enjoy. Now, I would highly recommend having a bowl to put the extra pieces in. Like when you pop out the seeds, you need somewhere to put the seed. You have to pull it out of your mouth. So, do yourself a favor. Take it, and here, let's see. Let's do it this way. Here we go. Alright, so here's the deal. Sorry, I just got out of the shop. So you've got your edamame. So here's what happens. You stick it in your mouth. Mmm. Delicious. And I get one more bite. You need somewhere to put this. Basically, is what I'm telling you. So, I'm going to let my edamame finish cooking. And then I'm going to have 2 bowls. One for my edamame and one for my throwaways. Enjoy your delicious meal. I hope you take the chance, even if you've never eaten edamame, to try this recipe. It looks exactly like this. It's absolutely amazing. I can taste all the Italian flavors, the onion, the garlic. They're all mixing in my mouth. You do not need anything but this. The fact that I'm using almond flour as opposed to breadcrumbs means I've just added protein to this dish, and there you go. Nice healthy dinner. And you guys who are in a relationship, you can feed each other. Not quite sure how, but I'm sure y'all can figure it out. I will see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy your delicious dinner. I hope it's bright and green and filled with that almond protein. It comes out just as delicious as this did. Have a wonderful day.